So my story actually comes from 2018 in the Teach for America Memphis region. I was a cultural competency coach, and so I was tasked with helping prepare our teachers to go into the classroom and understand the world of the kids that we teach. And I'll never forget this week. We were set to cover DACA, and I just was not even close to prepared, and I dropped the ball royally. The week prior, we actually had a group from a different region fly in and coach us and help us understand DACA at a high level. And then that group gave a presentation to all of our teachers. Well, the following week, myself and other members of the cultural competency team were tasked to talk about how DACA and citizenship impacts our students locally in Memphis. And I did a horrible job. The impacts of how I was ill prepared were potentially so large to our teachers because so many of them had looked to me for weeks as one of the best sources of information to understand the students that they were about to teach. And I did a horrible job. I remember fumbling through answers, and eventually, one of the individuals in the room, one of the teachers, actually chimed in and essentially took the lesson over. She was so gracious to explain DACA in such a better way, in a way that just made more sense and answered so many questions. And come to find out, she had been impacted by DACA and this messed up path to citizenship that we have in this country as a student in Memphis schools. And in that moment, going back to that day, I thought to myself, why didn't I just talk to her? Why didn't I ask our teachers, hey, does anyone have any close experience of this and would be willing to coach me and explain these things to me so that I can teach an entire group of teachers and sort of tackle any biases that I have or say, hey, how about you just actually take over this lesson and be a source of information for your peers and just be a leader in that moment. Or even talk to my leadership and ask them to reach out to teachers if it if they felt more comfortable talking to leadership about it. And I didn't do any of those things. I didn't reach out to other coaches and see like, hey, how are you feeling about the week? Do you feel prepared? And if so, help me out because I'm not feeling prepared and I'm going into this day feeling a lot of anxiety about not having the answers and not being humble enough to say that I don't. And so instead, I chose to take for granted what I thought I knew, that I thought I had all the answers as a black male in America, and I don't. And that day absolutely humbled me.